The woman spoke softly, turning to Xiao Yin. What plan do you have? Spatial dough techniques. I can use them, Xiao Yin said, as his hands suddenly began to shift. In the next moment, he displayed the space-shifting hand seal, a spatial dough technique that Xiao Tian had taught him back in the forest of EngSubs. This space-shifting hand seal allowed him to travel through any space, provided he had been to that space before. Shoo! In a single breath, the space around Xiao Yin began to ripple. In the next moment, he vanished without a sound, like a ghost disappearing into thin air. What? The woman's eyes widened with joy. Clearly, Xiao Yan's mastery of such an advanced spatial dough technique gave them a real chance to retrieve the life source stone. Shoo! Moments later, space rippled again, and Xiao Yin reappeared a short distance away, as silently as he had vanished. So, how was that? Xiao Yin asked with a grin. While that's indeed a spatial dough technique, it's still not enough. The woman's initial excitement faded as she spoke in a grave tone. She knew full well how powerful the fragmented space was. That's not right, Xiao Yin muttered under his breath. She's not lying. Even with a spatial dough technique, fragmented space is no joke. One wrong move, and you'll be pulverized, the Golden Dragon King added. Even I wouldn't survive that right now. But if you're not afraid of dying, you could try, the woman said softly, offering a sliver of hope. Let's be careful first. Tell me what exactly needs to be done, Xiao Yin asked. He knew that when she mentioned risking death, there had to be a specific reason behind it. The area within 10 meters of the life source stone is all part of the fragmented space. Anyone who enters will be instantly reduced to dust, the woman explained. But with your spatial dough technique, you can give it a try. You can use the technique to teleport from outside the fragmented space and directly approach the life source stone. As soon as you appear near the stone, grab it. The woman's gaze burned with intensity as she spoke. What? Xiao Yin was shocked. Even with his strong will, the notion of entering fragmented space left him momentarily stunned. Xiao Yin knew all too well what entering fragmented space meant. Even Dou Xian experts feared it. Xiao Yin, at mid-4-star Dou D level, knew that if he even touched the fragmented space for a split second, his fate would be sealed, complete annihilation. While he could use his spatial dough technique to teleport directly to the life source stone, the moment he materialized, he'd be subject to the crushing pressure of the fragmented space. If anything went wrong, he'd be reduced to dust in an instant. Even though this is a great treasure, it's not easy to obtain. Xiao Yin cursed silently, preparing himself for the task at hand. This method is dangerous, but it's the only shot we've got, Xiao Yin muttered to himself. If only there were 2 people here who knew spatial dough techniques, it would be much safer. The woman also sighed as she continued. Xiao Yin ignored her words, removing his ancient ruler of heavenly flames and swallowing a few pills to restore his depleted Dou Qi. Only with enough Dou Qi did he have the confidence to attempt this. Don't forget your Imperial Realm mortal grade soul power, the Golden Dragon King suddenly remarked, as if recalling something. Imperial Realm soul power. Xiao Yan's eyes lit up as he realized something, excitement washing over him. That's right. With my Imperial Realm mortal grade soul power, Xiao Yan's eyes closed, and he began to focus deeply, communicating with the powerful soul energy deep within his soul sea. Shoo! After a few breaths, Xiao Yan's eyes snapped open, a smile spreading across his face. The woman's pupils shrank as she saw 2 identical figures appear before her. Both figures were identical in appearance, demeanor, and aura. Even the woman couldn't distinguish which was the real Xiao Yan and which was the fake. It's been a while, said one of the Xiao Yans, cupping his hands in greeting. The woman was astonished. I've been waiting in the soul sea for so long, and now you finally remember me. You're quite the neglectful master. The other Xiao Yan said, his tone teasing, as if they were old friends. Well, you can't really blame me. I've just arrived here, unfamiliar with the territory, and didn't want to summon you too hastily in case things went wrong, Xiao Yan replied. One of us has to change clothes. It'll confuse people if we look identical, said the other Xiao Yan. With that, he transformed, donning black clothing. Which one of you is Xiao Yan? The woman asked, struggling to tell the 2 apart. One wore black, the other white, but their auras and soul powers were identical. It was no wonder she was confused. Does it matter which of us is real? The white-clad Xiao said calmly. Exactly. We are one. When one prospers, the other prospers. When one falls, the other falls, the black-clad Xiao echoed. So, did you hear the plan? Asked the white-clad Xiao. Confident. What do you think? The black-clad Xiao replied with a smile. Then let's join forces and see just how terrifying our combined power can be. The white-clad Xiao said, his excitement evident. The white-clad Xiao was the true Xiao, while the black-clad one was a soul projection. Though both had mid-4-star Do-D strength, the real Xiao still took the lead. Master, shall we begin? The white-clad Xiao asked with a grin, turning to the Golden Dragon King. You sly little boy. The Golden Dragon King chuckled approvingly, nodding. He was pleased to see that Xiao had kept his soul projection hidden until the right moment, using it as a trump card. Xiao was confident that, with the combined power of himself, his identical clone, and his immortal body, they could potentially rival even a 6-star Do-D expert. However, he hadn't revealed all of his trump cards yet. These were his most guarded secrets, only to be used as a last resort. When he made a move, it would be with overwhelming force. I've heard that once one's soul power reaches the Imperial Realm mortal grade, it's possible to create a clone identical to the original, possessing all of the main body's power. Now I see it's true, Long Yi commented quietly. Let's begin, the woman said. As soon as she spoke, the immortal sword embedded in the ground emitted a surge of energy, which flowed into the woman. Her strength rapidly surged, and within moments, she reached the 7-star Do-D level. This isn't much different from some secret techniques, but it doesn't last long, the woman noted, noticing Xiao curious gaze. Be careful, the Golden Dragon King cautioned. This space is peculiar. Even the body of a Do-D cannot exert full power. If it becomes too dangerous, give up. We'll find another way. Understood, Xiao responded softly, touched by his master's concern. He knew that the life source stone was crucial for his master's future recovery, so no matter the cost, he had to obtain it. Let's get started, Xiao said, closing his eyes for a brief moment before snapping them open, his gaze locking onto the life source stone with extreme vigilance. White-clad Xiao clasped his hands in respect toward black-clad Xiao, both understanding the gravity of the situation and fully prepared, their auras rising to the peak. Boom, boom, boom. At the same time, the Golden Dragon King, Long Yi, and the woman unleashed devastating waves of energy, launching their attacks toward the fragmented space ahead of them. Their goal was to create a diversion, even slightly reducing the pressure on Xiao. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Despite their terrifying attacks, as they reached within 9 meters of the fragmented space, the attacks disintegrated into dust. Even with the combined efforts of the three, their attacks only penetrated by 1 meter. The fragmented space was unimaginably formidable. Shoo! In the next instant, white-clad Xiao moved. His hand rapidly formed seals, causing the space in front of him to ripple. Black-clad Xiao nodded in understanding, a serious expression crossing his face. Without hesitation, black-clad Xiao enveloped himself in a milky white flame and stepped into the rippling space. As he entered, white-clad Xiao's forehead beaded with sweat, his aura flaring again. Using space shifting consumed a tremendous amount of Do-Chi. Damn it, I must succeed! White-clad Xiao gritted his teeth, forcing himself to maintain the technique. After all, black-clad Xiao was a soul projection formed from Imperial Realm mortal-grade soul power. If something happened to the projection, the backlash on Xiao himself would be severe, an outcome he wished to avoid at all costs. Meanwhile, the Golden Dragon King, Long Yi, and the woman continued their relentless barrage against the fragmented space. They knew its horrors, and their attacks were unceasing. Shoo! As their attacks landed, the life source stone within the circular object emitted a faint glow, as though aware of the attempt to breach the space. The light flickered before dimming once more, returning to its dormant state. Drip, drip. Below the life source stone, several droplets of liquid began to fall from the circular object. Boom, boom, boom. As the droplets hit the ground, numerous plants suddenly sprang forth, growing wildly at an astonishing speed. Strangely, these plants radiated a terrifying aura almost immediately upon appearing. As the plants grew, an overwhelming sense of death filled Xiaoyan's heart. What is this? The scent of a domain! The Golden Dragon King's pupils contracted sharply as he stared at the drops of water. These plants were clearly born from the liquid, and with his sharp eyes, he instantly recognized the energy of a domain. The droplets were exuding domain-level fluctuations. The secrets within this life source stone are no small matter, the Golden Dragon King muttered. While he didn't fully understand why the life source stone was so terrifying, anything involving a domain was a hallmark of Do Xian level experts. His respect for the life source stone deepened. Just a bit more. White-clad Xiaoyan gritted his teeth, struggling to maintain the rippling space in front of him. This ripple was black-clad Xiaoyan's only way to escape after retrieving the life source stone. Though black-clad Xiaoyan had reached the stone's vicinity, Xiaoyan was cautious and hadn't ordered him to act yet. Success needed to be certain. There was no room for mistakes. Black-clad Xiaoyan, being a soul projection, was partially controlled by Xiaoyan but retained its own autonomy, following Xiaoyan's lead. This can't go on any longer. The Golden Dragon King's pupils transformed into golden dragon eyes. As they appeared, an incredibly powerful aura radiated from the Golden Dragon King's spiritual form, a presence that commanded absolute authority over the world. What a terrifying aura! If the Golden Dragon King is this strong in his soul state, how powerful must he have been at his peak? Long he couldn't help but marvel. The moment the Golden Dragon King's golden eyes appeared, Long he was overwhelmed with a deep, primal fear that forced him to bow in reverence. So this is my master's true peak, white-clad Xiaoyan thought as he fought to maintain the rippling space, his gaze fixed on the Golden Dragon King. He estimated that the Golden Dragon King now possessed the full strength of a Do Xian expert. A Do Xian was a figure of absolute dominance, capable of controlling the very elements of the world. This is impressive, the woman murmured, clearly shaken by the Golden Dragon King's immense power. But she had little time to dwell on it, as the plants within the fragmented space were now attacking them. With no time to waste, she unleashed her own terrifying aura, launching her attacks against the mysterious plants. Dragon God Claw! The Golden Dragon King roared. His human-like body transformed, his hand turning into a mighty dragon claw glowing with golden light. With a slight lift, he brought the claw down upon the fragmented space with ferocious force. The Golden Dragon Claw, adorned with luxurious golden scales, carried an unstoppable force as it struck toward the fragmented space. Boom, boom, boom. Though it seemed like a simple attack, it was imbued with the Golden Dragon King's domain power. The moment the Golden Dragon Claw descended upon the fragmented space, a loud shattering sound echoed. The previously 10-meter-wide fragmented space was forcefully compressed, reduced to just 5 meters in radius. Even the plants on the ground, despite only being struck by the residual energy of the Dragon God Claw, were instantly torn apart and shattered. The Dragon God Claw, containing the power of the domain, was truly terrifying. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying aftershocks of the Dragon God Claw rippled out. Fortunately, at the moment of the attack, the Golden Dragon King had cast a protective barrier of golden Do Qi around the group, shielding them from the overwhelming force. Without it, Xiaoyan, Long Yi, and the woman would have been unable to withstand such immense power, and their fate would have been dire. The fragmented space, which initially spanned 10 meters, had now been forcefully reduced to just 5 meters under the Golden Dragon King's devastating strike. If only I had my physical body. Breaking through the entire fragmented space would have been effortless, the Golden Dragon King lamented with a sigh. Xiaoyan had no doubts about this. The Golden Dragon King was one of the strongest beings in the Dragon Clan, second only to the Dragon God. Even in his soul form, the Dragon God Claw displayed terrifying power. If he regained his physical body, Xiaoyan believed his master's Dragon God Claw would be enough to kill a Do Xian expert. Grumble, grumble. The plants within the remaining 5 meters of the fragmented space seemed to tremble in fear of the Golden Dragon King's unstoppable power, showing clear signs of terror. However, what was most peculiar was that the plants, though severely damaged by the Dragon God Claw's aftershocks, began to regenerate almost immediately. Their astonishing vitality even made the Golden Dragon King raise his eyebrows in surprise. Yet, the life source stone itself remained completely unshaken, despite the Golden Dragon King's terrifying attack. It stood solid and immovable, like an unbreakable rock. "Now's the time," came a roar from behind Xiao. White-clad Xiao nodded, feeling both grateful and reassured that his master, the Golden Dragon King, had bought him so much time. His pupils hardened as he focused. He knew that this was the moment when the real challenge would begin. If he succeeded, he would be victorious and could retreat safely. But if he failed, he would fall into a pit of eternal doom. There was no middle ground. With no time to dwell on the consequences, Xiao gathered his immense dou qi and directed it toward the rippling space. As the space around the life source stone began to ripple, the plants on the ground turned their attention toward it, as if possessing intelligence. A faint but distinct aura locked onto the rippling space. The instant the space was locked, a warning signal was transmitted to white-clad Xiao Soul Sea. "Damn it! There's no time left. Act now." White-clad Xiao realized the danger posed by the terrifying plants and wasted no time. As soon as the signal was transmitted, a hand appeared from the rippling space, striking toward the life source stone with decisive force. The hand, wrapped in a blazing white flame, was none other than black-clad Xiao. Enveloped in the intense milky white flame, his hand reached viciously toward the life source stone. Shoo! In the blink of an eye, the fiery hand appeared in the void around the life source stone and shot toward it. Bang, bang, bang. But just as the hand was about to grasp the life source stone, the milky white flames surrounding it vanished, shattered by the mysterious power of the fragmented space. Damn it! What terrifying power! White-clad Xiao felt the intense pain from the feedback, as if the mysterious force in the fragmented space was far beyond what he could comprehend. This power was far beyond anything he could resist at his current strength. As the flames on the hand disappeared, an excruciating pain surged from the hand itself, as if it was being torn apart from the inside. White-clad Xiao could feel the same pain coursing through his body. His pupils contracted as he realized, "I can't give up now." Gritting his teeth, white-clad Xiao poured an immense amount of dou qi into the rippling space, determined to protect black-clad Xiao's hand. He knew that the mysterious power of the fragmented space would soon tear apart the hand of his soul projection. With his vast soul power and the strength of the white flame, he barely managed to resist the fragmented space's terrifying force. The next moment, the mysterious force from the life source stone surged toward the hand, as white-clad Xiao infused it with even more dou qi, allowing the hand to regain its strength. "Why can't I take it?" Xiao wondered as he quickly analyzed the situation in his mind. Black-clad Xiao's hand had clearly touched the life source stone, but he was unable to retrieve it. It felt as though his hand had passed through empty space. This didn't make sense. They were in the same space, so why couldn't the stone be taken? After a brief moment of contemplation, white-clad Xiao realized that the massive dou qi surrounding the hand was rapidly diminishing. If the dou qi disappeared completely, the hand would be reduced to dust by the fragmented space. Xiao. The life source stone is the key to the entire Xinling Imperial Pool. You can't take it just like that. You need to replace it with something? The Golden Dragon King's voice echoed through the space. Replace it? Xiao had a sudden inspiration. He quickly grabbed a wooden stick from nearby, something he had picked up earlier. Go! With a flick of his finger, the wooden stick shot into the rippling space. The next moment, it appeared right by the life source stone. Black-clad Xiao immediately understood white-clad Xiao's intention. Without hesitation, the hand turned to grab the wooden stick and then reached toward the life source stone once more, holding the stick tightly. Bang, bang, bang. As the hand passed over the life source stone, both the stone and the circular object beneath it were lifted by the massive hand. Left in their place was the wooden stick, suspended where the life source stone had originally been. The space inside and outside the fragmented space rippled one last time before returning to calm. "Did it work?" the woman asked, her voice filled with cautious hope. "Damn." Xiao collapsed to the ground, panting heavily, still shaken by the experience. In that final moment, he had clearly felt an overwhelming force descending upon the hand of black-clad Xiao, threatening to tear it apart. But just as the danger reached its peak, the wooden stick had appeared, allowing the hand to proceed and retrieve the life source stone. When the hand made contact with the stone, it had initially seemed as if it would pass through it once again. However, at the critical moment, a gentle force emanated from the stone, allowing the hand to successfully grasp it, along with the mysterious circular object. The wooden stick then took the stone's place. Thankfully, the terrifying plants on the ground, which were poised to attack his hand, were blocked by his master, the Golden Dragon King. Without that protection, Xiao plan wouldn't have succeeded. Although the process looked simple in retrospect, the complexity of the situation made Xiao realize how narrowly he had avoided disaster. Black-clad Xiao was, after all, a projection of his soul. Losing even a single hand would have severely damaged his soul power, leading to a dangerous backlash that could have caused major problems for him. Fortunately, none of that had happened. Xiao also felt grateful that his mastery of the space-shifting hand seal had become more fluid and proficient during this ordeal. "Glad you're okay." The Golden Dragon King approached quickly, inspecting Xiao from head to toe. After confirming that Xiao was unharmed, he nodded in satisfaction. Both Xiao bravery and intelligence had impressed the Golden Dragon King. To Xiao, this small gesture of care was heartwarming. The life source stone was incredibly important to the Golden Dragon King, yet his first concern had been Xiao's safety, not the stone. "Thank you," white-clad Xiao said softly to black-clad Xiao. Clearly, their combined efforts had made the success possible. "We are one." "There's no need for thanks," black-clad Xiao replied with a casual smile. Before white-clad Xiao could say anything further, black-clad Xiao dissolved into a stream of energy and returned to the Soul Sea. "We've succeeded," Xiao said, addressing the woman. "I underestimated how dangerous this place was. If I had known, I would never have let you take such a risk," the Golden Dragon King said solemnly. "Don't worry, Master. I know my limits," Xiao replied, raising his hand. In his palm was an exquisitely crafted stone, the life source stone. Attached to the stone was a round object resembling a bucket. "This is the life source stone," the Golden Dragon King said, his gaze fixed on the stone in Xiao hand. "Don't forget what you promised me," came a voice from the immortal sword. The residual power within the sword clearly understood the situation, but chose not to argue further. It transformed into a beam of light and returned to the sword, having expended considerable energy during the battle. There was no point in contesting against Xiao and his companions. "Master, are you really going to give part of the life source stone's power to the sword?" Xiao asked in a low voice after seeing the woman return to the immortal sword. "Of course. That sword is a rare treasure. If it weren't a half-completed item, its value would be immeasurable," the Golden Dragon King replied with a smile. "And don't worry, this life source stone isn't just for tempering weapons. Any weapon tempered with the life source stone will inherit some of its properties. Once the sword is fully refined, it will become a great asset," the Golden Dragon King added, casting a knowing smile at the immortal sword. "Master, what exactly is the life source stone?" Xiao asked, his curiosity piqued. "That's something I need to tell you," the Golden Dragon King replied, his voice suddenly tinged with a sense of weariness and age. "Master, are you all right?" Xiao noticed the emotion in the Golden Dragon King's voice and immediately asked. "I'm fine. I just remembered some unpleasant things from the past," the Golden Dragon King responded, lost in thought. "However, I have great confidence in you. That old fellow Tuasha, his insight is something even I have to admire," the Golden Dragon King said, his eyes clouded with emotion. Upon hearing this, Xiao was astonished in his heart. The Golden Dragon King was known for his immense pride, and for someone like him to speak so highly of Tuasha could only mean that the two must have shared a deep bond, likely a life-and-death friendship. I digress. Let's get back to the main topic. The Golden Dragon King coughed a few times, realizing he had let his emotions take over. This life source stone contains an overwhelming life force. For now, that power might seem insignificant to you, but I'm sure that in time, you will come to understand its true secrets. The greatest function of the life source stone is its life-giving energy. You see, back when I was captured and sealed by those extraterritorial evil clans, I lost a significant amount of my original power, even my life force. And this life source stone is exactly the kind of thing that can replenish it. With it, I can fully restore my soul power to its peak. The Golden Dragon King's voice grew stronger as he spoke. This stone, it's truly that powerful. Xiao didn't need to ask to understand the immense value of the life source stone for his master. For the Golden Dragon King, it was a treasure that could greatly replenish his lost life force. Once the Golden Dragon King regained his peak soul power, Xiao knew that, with time and once he obtained a sacred flame, he could help his master create a new body, essentially giving him a second life. After today, I'll need to go into seclusion for a while, the Golden Dragon King said in a deep voice. I've sensed a familiar aura, and I must make preparations. Master, rest assured, by the time you come out of seclusion, I will have gathered the materials needed to help you form a body. Xiao promised. I don't doubt your potential, boy, but in the time I'm away, you must train diligently. If you slack off, I'll never forgive you. The Golden Dragon King laughed. Understood, master. Xiao responded, feeling a warmth from his master's words despite the strict tone. He could sense the genuine care the Golden Dragon King had for him, just as Yao Lao had cared for him back when they were on the Doqi continent.